Jesus went into the region of Caesarea Philippi. What that means is that he hiked with his followers for 25 miles until they came to the outskirts of Caesarea Philippi, so that he could have this encounter with them in the shadow of the cliff face upon which that city was built. And there, at the foot of the cliff face, the apostles could clearly see all the shrines carved out of that rock, where the aristocrats, the hierarchical leaders, the power mongers placed their effigies and tokens of their might in that rock. In contrast, there Jesus stood. Jesus, the servant, the humble, the healer, the teacher, the lifter of the lowly, the one who would die the death of the outcast. There he stood in front of a giant symbol of earthly authority, oppression, and greed, and asked the first question: who do people say that the Son of Man is? The Son of Man, the legacy of humankind. Who do people say that the legacy of humankind is? And so they answered that question. And then the second question, though, marks a shift from the solo human to the joining of humanity with God's loving power when he says, who do you say that I am? I am, that phrase that will be used in the Gospel of John to mean the God, the holy, the divine, the ultimate source of love. I am the way, the truth, and the life. Who do you say that I am? And then the answer comes. You are the Christ, the way to the loving God, the way to a living God. If we follow your way of service, Jesus's way of service, humility, healing, equanimity, justice, mercy, kindness, and love, then the God of love and life will flourish on earth, and heaven will be on earth. Not in some future time and place, but here and now. And so that language at the end about the things that we bind being on heaven versus earth becomes very much about the way that we behave in this life, bringing heaven in. So if we bind, if we create safe and loving boundaries within which all people find the peace of God, when we bind things here in that way, that includes and doesn't exclude, when we create a refuge in which people experience the promise of God, and if the peace and reign of God is among us and roams the earth, it roams the place where heaven is to come. But if instead we loose upon the earth, we unleash upon the earth categories of thinking, if we unleash hardship, brokenness, lies, exclusions, if we unleash upon the earth a system that is hierarchical, that says you have power and you don't, you are worthy and you are not, then we keep away the heaven that is supposed to enter. So that's good news, and it's also bad news, because the ball is in our court. I believe that what we do here in this virtual space every week does lean with every intention in the direction Jesus points us to. There are times when I miss so greatly the ability to hold hands, to give hugs and kisses, to see one another. And yet somehow this virtual space reaches out across so many people, across oceans, across miles, across other things that create divisions between us. And so I pray that every day we in this community continue to choose this way of inclusion over the cliff face that is hierarchical and based on domination. As I was praying and preparing for today, a song came into my mind that you might remember from Godspell, and it's called Beautiful City. And it kept entering my mind again and again. And so I did what I often do, which is go to Google. And I discovered that it has been resurrected every time we in our humanity go through troubles. It was resurrected after 9/11 on Google. So on YouTube rather, it was resurrected once the pandemic began. It was resurrected again after the January 6th insurrection. It coulda, woulda, shoulda, and maybe was resurrected during the Women's March in 2017. And we should sing it every time we talk about opening the priesthood to women and other sacraments, not just the priesthood, to LGBTQ believers, when we address homelessness, racial and other prejudice, and it should be again resurrected every time we fight climate change. When we bind God's love on earth, we create a beautiful city. The lyrics are, come, sing me sweet rejoicing. Come, sing me love. We're not afraid of voicing all the things we're dreaming of. Oh, high and low and everywhere we go, we can build a beautiful city. Yes, we can.